Good morning, everyone. I'm Nikki Stanzione.
And I'm Kristen Van Dyke.
And this is New Mexico Style. We're already at midweek. I love that it's Wednesday already.
It is. I know, this week went by fast.
Already, I know. Hey, did you hear this morning, I was hearing a really funny story. I had to mention it because it was interesting to me. So you know J-Lo has a younger boyfriend now, right? The dancer. So they're at this McDonald's. This is the big story. They're at this McDonald's. I don't know what state they were in. They take a stop in there to get some food. He orders, and the cashier says something to the effect of, "Oh, are you paying or is your mother paying?" And J-Lo did not care who heard. Apparently, she had a screaming fit and went, "I am his girlfriend, not his mother." And they stormed out.
Oh. Why did they think J-Lo was... I don't care. Even if she's that much older, she looks young.
Well, that's what I think. I mean, I've never seen her, obviously, without makeup and her hair done and her, you know, her whole J-Lo thing. But I would imagine she's a beautiful girl. I can't even imagine.
That's funny.
Right?
That is really, really funny.
It
you know
is.
what? If they gotten coffee from there, though, they would have been better off than getting it from Starbucks.
No doubt, because if you're one of those people who grumble about paying $4 for a coffee, well, guess what? You're going to have to grumble about paying a little bit more because Starbucks is raising prices.
Yeah, tall brewed coffees and latte drinks will actually go up 10 cents. And there's going to be a price hike on about half a dozen other beverages too. So
Cocoa?
Yeah, even hot chocolate. And that's happening in numerous cities across the country, including Albuquerque. So yeah, if you head out, you're going to notice that price hike. But you know, 10 cents not that much.
It adds up.
It adds up. But no, here's my thing. It's just Starbucks their prices are already outrageous.
True. So true.
They're already crazy.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Why do they need 10 more cents?
Well, you know, and you always think about, you know, as you get into the new year, you think about economizing a little. And one of the ways that you kind of want to save that money is often by looking at those little things that you're spending in the 10 cents and you know, it does add up. So at the end of the week, you know, that's 50 cents at the end of the month. It's a couple dollars, and it just adds up. And that money could be better spent probably, I don't know, maybe just make the coffee at home. And indulge once in a while.
Right. Well, a lot of people are discussing this and feel pretty hot about this topic.
Yeah, we want to know what you think. So, will you spend even more money for a caffeine fix, or is enough?
Right. You can send your comments to facebook.com/New Mexico Style or email us at casa.com. And a couple of responses here. Phil Werner, he says, it's Star Crack. That should be the new name for Starbucks, Star Crack. And then Christina says, what gets me is that you're going to pay that much for a drink that has 1,200 calories. And we're talking about weight loss coming up.
Good point.
Yeah, a lot of people sending in their responses. Tons of comments so far. We'd love to hear from you, so definitely send those in.
Yeah, we definitely do. Thank you for that. And let's check in now with KRQE News 13 anchor Elizabeth Alvarez for today's news headlines. Good morning, Miss Elizabeth.
Good morning, ladies. Thank you. Hey, I've got a lot to say about the prices of coffee going up, but I'll just reserve my comments for Twitter and Facebook and all that.
Okay.
Topping your morning news headlines this morning. Good morning to you at home, New Mexico. It was a tough morning for APS students this morning as their winter break is now over and it's time to go back to school. It could also, though, be a tough week for hundreds of schools in New Mexico as the state hands them their report card. Governor Susana Martinez wants to change up how schools are graded a bit. She plans to ask the legislature to fund the grading system. Now, in 2 weeks, she'll ask state lawmakers for $5 million as part of her new A to F grading system. $4 million of that sum will go to help schools that fall into the D to F range. The governor is counting on that money to be used as bonuses for teachers or to hire help in the classroom. The grades will be based on student performance, standardized tests, and graduation rates.
They will be able to offer personal, one-on-one tutoring to those students who need it most and make a real difference for New Mexico's kids.
The remaining $1 million from the state would then be spread out to schools with higher grades. The governor signed the school grading bill into law back in March of last year. A big announcement is expected this morning at the University of New Mexico. The Board of Regents is set to announce the school's new president, but guess what? This morning we can tell you who it is. Sources tell us it's Dr. Robert Frank. He's a psychologist who is currently provost at Kent State University in Ohio, but he is no stranger to being a Lobo. Frank got his bachelor's, master's, and PhD from UNN. UNM back in the 1970s, and he was also an All-American swimmer for the university back in 1973. Now, the university won't release the new president's contract until later today, but the regents have said that the person will not make what the current president makes. David Schmidley, who retires in May, gets almost $600,000 a year plus $40 grand every year for a housing allowance. Frank is making about $300,000 a year right now at Kent State. Some good economic news to share with you this morning. Spaceport America is bringing more jobs to New Mexico. Virgin Galactic has relocated some of its British-based staff to Las Cruces. Now, it says it is looking to hire for other positions. Passenger flights from the spaceport are expected to start in the next year. So far, Virgin Galactic is not saying how many people it wants to hire, but we have posted the information about the positions they want to fill under news links at KRQE.com. Well, switching gears just a little bit, talk about one close call. Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney barely squeezed out a win in Iowa, with Rick Santorum trailing behind by only 8 votes. Yes, in a victory speech last night, the former Massachusetts governor pledged to keep the momentum going in the New Hampshire caucuses next week, where he holds a solid lead. But it looks like Rick Santorum is ready to compete following his surprising late surge in Iowa. Ron Paul placed 3rd, but still considers himself a winner.
We will go on. We will raise the money. I have no doubt about the volunteers.
And Newt Gingrich is hoping to jumpstart his bid today in New Hampshire, but Michelle Bachmann, who came in last, just canceled her stump in South Carolina. And Rick Perry, who came in 5th, has decided he is going back to his home state of Texas and re-evaluating the results. And that wraps it up for your morning headlines this Wednesday morning. Be sure to catch Matt Morrow, Kristen Van Dyke, and myself every weekday morning from 5 to 7 a.m. on KRQE News 13. Ladies, I'm going to send it back to you.
Thanks, Elizabeth. And you know, we're only 3 days into the new year. There's plenty of drama, as always, out of Tinseltown.
And of course, TMZ always keeps us updated with the latest Hollywood gossip.
Yes.
And there's a lot more to talk about today.
There is. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties, so we can't talk to Gary directly, but on TMZ.com, we did get a lot of great scoop. So we'll give you some of it. Now, we were on vacation, of course, when the big news hit of Katy Perry and Russell Brand split. Now, they seemed kind of like a match made in heaven to me.
Right.
So, you know, a lot of people are wondering, what about the sudden divorce? Apparently, I understand that her father is... he just can't talk about it. He's flustered. He's upset. This goes against, because, you know, she didn't file because of her religious background. She felt like I wanted to work it through. I guess they were having problems, but she didn't want to, you know, upset her family. So he was the one who filed for divorce. But now her family won't even talk about it. Apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. They feel strongly about it. I mean, you hear it all the time. You know, it kind of, it's kind of refreshing to hear families getting upset about the big D word.
I know.
People just toss it around right now. Like
they make it like it's nothing, yeah.
And it happens so much. But that's interesting. I know a lot of guys, that was funny. Time that came out on Twitter, time the news came out.
Oh, yeah.
Guys were like, okay, glad I'm single, going after Katy Perry. That was every guy's, like, you know, she's
every guy's teenage dream now, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, the thing about them is that they're both very quirky. You know, they're very quirky personalities. They seem like they fit, but you just never know with these Hollywood romances. It's so hard.
There's so much added pressure, there's money, drama. Ugh.
Talk about drama, you know, the drama family of all drama families.
TMZ, yeah, is reporting that Kim Kardashian in Dallas is lending a hand to her sister Khloe, who's moving into a $7,500 a month condo with husband Lamar, who was traded to the Mavericks.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. How is she going to do in Dallas? That's a big change for her, right?
Yeah, it's a big change because, you know, I mean, I lived in LA. California girls that are born and bred there and that are socialized there, there's a very specific lifestyle. And, you know, when you go to Miami or New York, it's not that different. There's, you know, it's a little more fast-paced, of course, on the East Coast, but overall, it's a very similar adjustment, you know, and the clothing and the way people talk and the way people dress, and it's not that different. But when you go to Dallas, I think things are very different. I mean, you know, you're from the South, obviously not Texas, but it's a different lifestyle, isn't it?
It's totally different, and she's going to stick out.
Oh, yeah.
She already sticks out. That's one of the things I always notice. Like, you know, we have, like, this is just the typical right here, north and south.
Right.
Like, with the brunette and even with the blonde.
Exactly.
Like, in South Carolina, everybody's blonde. You go up north. Like, when I go to New York, I'm like the only blonde with the suit.
Yeah,
I mean, even just to that
so
little
true.
part, there's a big difference.
Yeah.
So she heads to Texas.
So true, so true. I know, it should be
All of
interesting.
attention.
Well, and I mean, all of the family has always been known for dating athletes, except for Courtney, who's with Scott. But I mean, Kim and Chloe have always been with the athletic boys, and they've kind of always followed their men around. So, I mean, Chloe and Lamar have been named this year in 2011 as one of the best couples of the year. They were actually reported to be one of the best married couples, as far as the fact that they were able to stay out of the gossip spotlight and just keep a happy marriage going. So I don't know what will happen when she steps away from her family. She seems very attached to her family, so we'll see. I have a feeling there might be a little spin-off episode.
I could totally see it. I would love. Wouldn't it be funny to see her having to do like just typical Southern traditional things?
Yeah,
I think it would be kind of hilarious.
It should be fun. Well, speaking of marriages, of course, you know, one of the marriages that always seemed so together but totally fell apart last year was Arnold Schwarzenegger and, of course, his estranged wife, Maria.
Yeah.
Now, they were actually, did you hear this story? Because basically Arnold was seen, and Arnold is in Albuquerque.
He's back.
Right? Yeah.
Filming in another
He'll
movie.
be back. He said he'd be back. He's be back. Yeah, and I guess what happened was over the New Year, he was seen sporting his wedding ring. Is that what was happening? I think that's the story.
What I was reading. Yeah, that he had his wedding ring back on. So, I mean, you know, whenever you put the ring back on, sometimes that symbolizes that maybe they're trying to work things out. He and Maria. I don't know. That's a tough one to work through. She was very visibly upset whenever the news came out about his child. Affair, child, and everything else. So
I want them back together in a way. I mean, I feel like, you know, when you have a big family like they do, and you've been together as many years as they have, there's so many more things than just the relationship between the two of them itself. There's so many other people involved in that equation. So if they can work it out, I think it'd be great.
Yeah, you always root for any of the celebrity couples or even couples in politics. He's been both, you know, of course.
Been both,
for their relationships to survive, because it seems like so few.
Exactly. Well, we wish them luck, of course, and we'll be looking forward to The Last Stand, which, again, that's why he's here. He's shooting that movie right here in Albuquerque, which is exciting. So that's pretty cool. So I'll be looking forward to that movie and seeing a lot of the local actors across New Mexico in the movie as well. That'll be nice.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now it's moving away from the Hollywood buzz. Let's talk a little bit about this. Well, it's actually still kind of Hollywood buzz, but not so gossipy. A new year has officially begun, right? Lots of new entertainment is in the works. I mean, that's the thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to be able to take a look at who actually came out on top in Hollywood in 2011. Are you excited for that?
I'm excited about that.
I want to know. Who do you think? What do you think came out on top? Like, what do you think was the big entertainment story?
The big entertainment story? The split up between Kim Kardashian?
I think so too. Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what they're going to say. We'll find out, but I do know that I think that the Kardashians have taken the spotlight big time.
There's been a lot. It's hard for me to keep track what happens from one year to another. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That was a biggie. Yeah. Kristen Van Dyke going to do the weather every day and going to Balloon
Fiesta.
That's not a big story,
yeah. No. Not a big story, but yeah, so, well.
Crazy, yeah. Well, Fox's Sabrina Sabaga reveals last year's winners in movies, music, TV, and video games. We're not.
Hollywood is hoping for a better 2012 with movie ticket receipts down 3% last year and attendance falling to a 16-year low. But the boy wizard still had the magic. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 was 2011's top box office draw, bringing in $1.3 billion worldwide.
Harry Potter.
The last installment in the franchise also generated the most DVD sales, selling 8.2 million copies since November.
Never seen a moon like this, can you see it too?
Irish rockers U2 topped all concert tours, the band pulling in $230 million by selling over 2.4 million tickets worldwide.
Never mind, I'll find someone like you.
On the charts, Adele's 21 was a smash hit, topping 2011 in a few categories, including album, song, and digital downloads. Taking 16 days to surpass $1 billion in sales, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 was the dominant force in home gaming entertainment, smashing all sales records.
The winner of American Idol Season 10 is...
And staying in the #1 spot on the small screen, American Idol Season 10 was TV's highest-rated series for the 7th consecutive year. The show averaged more than 22.5 million viewers. Fox is hoping for the same success when Season 11 debuts on Wednesday, January 18th. Hollywood, Sabrina Sabah, Fox News.
That was fun.
It was.
Okay, so Idol was on top. And Idol starts next week.
Oh, can you believe it's back again?
So excited. Okay, so that makes me happy, and sunshine makes me happy too. It's a beautiful day, and so, you know, I want to get out, and I know the Albuquerque Biopark is actually offering a discount today for all military personnel with a military ID. How nice is that? You only have to pay $2 for adults and $1 for kids to get into the park. The mayor says it's simply a way for the city to express gratitude and support for servicemen and women. Love that.
Great way to save some money there.
Yeah.
Yesterday, now this is good stuff too, Governor Susana Martinez signed a proclamation declaring January Learn a Winter Sport Month.
Oh, you must love that.
Yeah, this is good. The governor described New Mexico as a playground for anyone who enjoys the outdoors. It's so true. She's encouraging New Mexicans to take advantage of the great snow conditions at the state ski resort and learn how to ski or snowboard this winter. The New Mexico ski industry generates nearly $500 million each year and employs over 2,500 people.
Oh, that's great.
So, you know, we've had such good conditions, and it's warm now, so you're not going to be freezing on the slope.
That's great. Yeah, what are we going to expect for the rest of the week? Because this is great. I'd like it to stay this way.
It is. It's going to stay nice for the next few days, and then some changes move in this weekend, and we'll talk about that.